Hello everyone, this is Madhavi Karamudi, Assistant Professor in CSC Department. In this lecture, I'll talk about JDBC connectivity, Java Database Connectivity. So first of all, if you want to create any kind of web application, definitely we need to create front end as well as back end. So in any application, the back end indicates the database server. So now we will see how to connect to the database server from your servlet. So first of all, if you want to connect to the database server from your Java program, we need some APIs. Here the Sun Microsystems people has given one API for interacting with the database server from the servlet. So that API we are calling it as a JDBC API. This JDBC API, we can use it for connecting any kind of relational database. It may be Oracle database, or it may be Sybase database, or it may be MySQL database. Okay, by using this JDBC API, we can connect to the any kind of relational database. Now, another important thing is every API contains set of interfaces and classes. So similarly, here also this JDBC API contains some set of interfaces and classes. These classes and interfaces allows us to access the databases. Okay, so here you can not only from servlets, you can also connect to the database server from simple standalone Java application also, or you can also connect from the applets, or connect to the database from applets, or by using enterprise Java beans also you can connect to the database server. Okay, before going to in-depth about how to connect to the database server from your servlet, first see the architecture of the JDBC driver. So here your JDBC architecture contains two layers. First one is JDBC API, it is a software, and second one is JDBC driver API. So here JDBC API, let us see the diagram first. Okay, try to understand from this diagram. So here this is the application, whatever application the user is writing, our own application. You can write this application in Java language, or you can write it as using applet, or you can also write this program application using servlets or EJBs or JSPs. Okay, whatever it is. So this is a user application. So JDBC architecture contains two layers. First one is JDBC API. Second one is driver API. This JDBC API provides the application, provides the methods, classes and interfaces to connect to your application to the driver manager. Okay, so this driver manager API allows us to, this API allows us to connect to the manager to the any kind of database server. Okay, so here from the application to the database, these two APIs will be the mediators. Will connect, will directly connect to the JDBC API. Your JDBC API will interact with the driver manager. Your driver manager will be connected to the, or it will initiates the execution. It will connect to the database server for accessing. So this is the simple JDBC architecture. Now see, if you want to connect to the any kind of database, relational database, first of all we need JDBC API. Anyway, Sun Microsystems has given one JDBC API in the form of JavaX.SQL package. So second thing is we need the driver software. Okay, so we need to have JDBC drivers. So in Java we have four categories of drivers. First one is type 1 driver. This type 1 driver is also called as JDBC ODBC bridge driver. So JDBC, Java Database Connectivity, ODBC means Open Database Connectivity. So here this ODBC server will be acts as the mediator between your Java program and the driver. Okay, this is the oldest driver. This is the oldest driver. In this driver, in this first type 1 driver, JDBC ODBC bridge driver uses ODBC driver to connect to the database. Here your Java calls will not directly goes to the database. Internally, your Java calls will be converted into ODBC function calls, and that ODBC bridge driver sends that calls to the databases. So this is a very old technology. This type 1 driver is not written using Java language. That is the reason why this type 1 driver is not portable. Okay, and one more important thing is this driver software is built in with the JDK. So we need to no need to install this JDBC ODBC bridge driver separately. Automatically, whenever you install, we will get the JVM. Okay, but the thing is that JDBC ODBC driver is not written using Java language. Okay, it is database independent driver. Now coming to the second category, type 2 partial Java driver. This Java driver is also called as native API driver. Why it is called as native API driver is this driver uses client-side libraries, some of the client-side libraries to interact with the database. Again, this driver also will not understand Java language directly, will not understand Java language. So here this driver converts JDBC method calls into native calls of the database API. Okay, in order to interact with the different database servers. So this driver needs their local API. That's why data transfer in much more secure as compared to type 1 driver. Okay, so here also this driver needs to be installed separately in individual client machine. If you want to connect to the database through type 2 driver, compulsory we need to install in each and every client machine. Suppose if you want to connect to the database server by using type 1 driver, no need to install any driver, because with JVM software itself, with JDK itself, we will get JDBC ODBC bridge driver. Okay, so this type 2 driver is also not written using the Java language. So this is also not portable. Okay, that is the reason why we need to go for third one, that is type 3 driver. This type 3 driver is pure Java driver. Okay, but here again same procedure. This type 3 driver is also called as network protocol driver. So this driver uses some middleware software to interact with the database. So whatever JDBC calls that we are sending from the Java program, that will be converted into some native calls, and that native calls will be sent to the database server. Now coming to the fourth one, type 4 driver. So this type 4 driver is also called as native protocol driver. Okay, and it is also called as thin driver. This driver, okay, if you use this type 4 driver to connect to the database, this driver interact directly with the database without using any native APIs. So whatever Java JDBC calls it is receiving, same calls it will transfer to the database server. Okay, it will not use any native APIs to convert that JDBC calls into database language, right? So that is the reason why nowadays most of the web applications are created using thin drivers. Okay, so here let us forget about all these 4 categories. First of all, if you want to interact with the database server, we need any one of the driver software. So nowadays we'll use type 4 driver. So we need to install the type 4 driver in our machines. We can also download the type 4 driver from the internet. Now see, next concept is what are the steps we need to follow to connect to the database from the servlet. So these are the 5 steps compulsorily we need to follow to connect to the database from the servlet program. Not only from the servlet program, if you want to connect from the any standalone application, standalone Java program also, you need to perform these 5 steps. So first step is we need to register with the JDBC driver. Okay. So first of all, we need to register the JDBC driver. Registering the JDBC driver means initializing the JDBC driver. Okay. Second one is open a connection. After initialization of JDBC driver, we need to open the connection between this driver to the database. Okay, that we will do it in the second step. So after second step, the connection is just like a road. The road will be established between JDBC driver and the database. Now using that connection, we can execute our queries. Okay. Now next one, suppose after executing your queries, if there is a need of if there is a need of extracting any data from the database server, then we can extract it by using select command. But whatever data you are extracting by using select command, that data will be stored in the result set. So from the result set, we need to extract the data. Okay. So after interacting with the database, finally, just to free up the memory that is allocated for all the objects, or to avoid the misuse of that connection by anybody, we need to close the connection between the driver and the database server. So for closing the connection, if you can clean up the JDBC environment, or if you can remove all the objects that are created previously, then automatically the connection will be disconnected between JDBC driver and the database server. So if you want to interact with any kind of database server from any program, these are the 5 steps we need to follow. Let us see how to write these 5 steps. Okay. So before establishing the connection with the JDBC program, first we will see what are the things we need to have in our machine for interacting with the database. First of all, we need to install JVM software in our machine. Then we need to install any relational database server. Suppose here in my example, I am showing MySQL server. Okay, so install MySQL server in machine. After that, download JDBC driver for MySQL from MySQL official website. Okay, so that MySQL driver will come in this form, in the form of jar file. So that jar file name is mysql-connector.jar. So this jar file, we can freely download it from the MySQL official site. So once this jar file is available, then we need to set the class path for this .jar file so that your JVM can understand where your SQL server is available. Okay, just for establishing communication link between JVM and the database server, we need to set the class path, right? So this is the prior step we need to do before establishing the connection with the database server. Now see, these are all the database servers available for the data relational databases. Suppose if it is if the RDBMS, if your RDBMS is a MySQL database, then the driver name is com.mysql.jdbc.driver. Okay, and this is the URL format of your MySQL driver. So why I am showing this slide is in future, while establishing the connection with the connection between driver manager and the database server, we need to give the name of the driver and URL format of the driver. Okay, that is the reason why we need to remember these two names. Suppose if your RDBMS is a Oracle database, then oracle.jdbc.driver.oracle driver is the driver name, and JDBC : Oracle : thin : @ this is the URL format of your Oracle driver. Okay, suppose if your RDBMS is a DB2, this is the driver name, JDBC driver name, and this is the URL format of the DB2 database. Suppose if you are using Sybase database, this is the driver name and this is the URL format. Okay, compulsory, if you are interacting with any kind of relational database, we need to remember the driver name as well as URL format. Okay, in our example, I will show how to connect to the MySQL database. So I need to remember MySQL database JDBC driver name and the URL format. Okay, see how to create the JDBC connection. I'll show the code. So first of all, before writing the program, or first of all, we need to import the API. Okay, if you want to interact with the connection between JDBC driver to the database server, we need JDBC API, right? So that JDBC API is given in the form of packages. So that package we need to import. So this Java import javax.sql package contains JDBC classes and interfaces. Okay, once that is over, now next step is we need to register the JDBC driver. Just now I told you the 5 steps. Those 5 steps we need to do. So in that, what is the first step? Register the driver. So how to registering the driver means initializing the driver to open the communication channel with the database. Okay. Now how to register with the JDBC driver is, here we can register in two ways. One way is by using class.forName method. So this method dynamically loads the driver class file into the memory automatically, and automatically whenever it is loaded into the memory, that driver will be registered with the database server. Okay. Now second way is, this is the static way. So if you can write driver manager dot driver manager dot register driver method, automatically your driver will be registered with the database server. So these are all the two ways to register the database server with the database. Once the registration is done, then we need to open the connection. Okay, so how to open the connection? So for that, in JDBC API, we have one method, get connection method. By using this get connection method, we can create the connection between your driver to the database. That means your Java program to the database, right? Now, this get connection method is available. We need to call this get connection method by using the driver manager object. Next to see, third step is we need to execute the query. Once the connection is ready, then we can send our queries to the database server, right? So here, execute the query. That means create the statement object. Whatever statement you want to execute, send that statement object through that connection. Okay. Suppose if I want to create the table in the database, just write the create SQL statement, then send that SQL statement to the database server using this connection. So that is the meaning of execute query. Now next step is extract. Suppose if your executing query is a select command, then it will retrieve the data from the database. That data will be available in the result set object. From the result set object, we need to retrieve it. Once the retrieving is over, we need to clean up the JDBC environment. Cleaning up the JDBC environment means explicitly we need to close all the connections that we have opened. Let us see how to connect to the MySQL database. So in the previous slide, I just orally I told you what are the steps we need to perform to connect to the any kind of database. Now we will see how to connect to the MySQL database. Okay, first register your JDBC driver, MySQL JDBC driver. In the previous slide, I already show you what is your MySQL JDBC driver. So com.mysql.jdbc.driver. This is your MySQL JDBC driver. Okay, you have to register this driver. So how to register it? You can do it by using two ways. One way is by using class.forName method, or another way is by using driver manager method. Okay, so here I am using class.forName method. So this is the dynamic way of registering the driver. Okay, when this statement is executed, automatically your driver will be loaded into the memory and your driver will be initialized. Now next, establish the connection. So how to establish the connection? So we have get connection method. You just call the get connection method on driver manager. But this get connection method, we need to pass some information about your database server. So what information we need to pass is, what is the URL of your database server? What is the database name? Okay. And what is the username of your server? And what is the password of the server? That we need to pass to establish the connection with the database server, MySQL database server. Okay. Now see how to execute that statement. Here driver manager dot get connection. Our MySQL database server URL name is JDBC : MySQL : localhost. Localhost indicates the IP address, port number. This port number indicates that where your MySQL server is installed, at which port number your MySQL server is installed, that port number, and database name. What is the name of your database? This is a user defined database name. Okay. Then username of the server, root. In my system it is root, and password of the server, it is also root. Okay. By passing URL, database name, username and password, we need to establish the connection. Now third step is we need to create the statement. Creating the statement object means whatever task you want to perform after establishing the connection between your program to the database server, what action you want to perform. Whether you want to create the table, or you want to insert the table values, or you want to retrieve the data from the database. Okay, so that statement we need to create it. So in JDBC API, we have one create statement object method for creating the SQL statement. Okay, now next one, whatever statement you have created here, you just execute that SQL statement. So for executing that SQL statement, we have two methods. One is execute update method and second one is execute query method. So for executing normal insert, update, delete, create commands, we need to use execute update method. Okay, for this execute update method, we need to pass your actual SQL statement as a parameter. Okay, first we need to create SQL statement. That SQL statement we need to execute it by using execute update method. Okay, so this execute update method we need to invoke by using statement object. Okay, now suppose if your statement is select statement, then select statement retrieves the data in the form of array. So that is the reason why we need to execute that select command by using execute query method. So this execute query method is used only for executing select commands. Finally, once your SQL statement execution is over, you just close the connection. You just close the connection by using close method. Okay, for closing the connection in Java, in servlets, I mean in JDBC API, we have one method, close method. So you just call the close method on con object, automatically that connection will be closed. So con.close. So these are the few steps we need to do while interacting, while performing, while establishing the communication between the server